Hi guys, Chandler here from Talkie Dreams. Welcome to my Star Wars Battlefront review. Now I'm going to be including the Battle of Jakku DLC in this review because I really wanted to make sure that you got a full opinion on this game. Now this game has been out for a few weeks now. There are plenty of reviews on the basic game. I'm going to do both at the same time because I felt that the Battle of Jakku really made the game much bigger and much more playable. Now what I'm going to discuss in this particular review are how the game looks, how it sounds, of course how it plays, and the different little mechanics that you can find in the game, and maybe how they compare to previous Battlefront titles, and of course the Battle of Jakku DLC itself. So I think it's nice to start off with just how does the game work? How does everything kind of work out, and what are the different systems that you use within the game? So in order to do that, I have to show you the main menu of the game. So this is the actual menu that you go into the game when you pause it or right before you start a particular campaign. As you can see, this campaign is going to be in Hoth. This is the Walker Assault campaign. And over to your top right, you have your star cards. Now the star card system is where you're going to find your secondary weaponry. This is grenades, torpedoes, your different traits. The bottom left are your challenges. That kind of helps the game to play more like a first-player experience, which is something I'll get into later, the difference between first-person and multiplayer in this game, because the game is primarily multiplayer. There are some first-player options for it, and there is even a way to play it first-player in the multiplayer parts of the game. Now here in the middle, what you see is the Unlocks section. The Unlocks section covers a range of things such as your blaster rifles that you get to choose from, and the customization options for your character. These customization options range from how your character looks, so the different faces that you can use, or the different helmets for the Stormtrooper, and the emotes that you can use, so the different taunts that you can use throughout the game. So I'm just going to show you what the Unlock section looks like. Here's the Unlocks section. Now here is your star cards area. You can purchase different star cards in the game by using credits. Now these credits are not microtransactions. You do not have to use any actual money to pay for these credits, which is really nice because EA is known for making you pay for things. So you get these credits by unlocking different achievements throughout the game. Every match you play gives you credits. Here I've just purchased one of the blaster rifles that you can get in the game. The higher level you are, the more options you have to buy things. Now here are the customization options I was talking about. Let's look at the Stormtrooper. The Stormtrooper, you can pick between male and female. That changes the suit ever so slightly. But you can also choose different heads. Now at first, this looks a little silly, but it's actually a really smart idea because when you're on the battlefield, it's really hard to tell the difference between a rebel soldier and a Stormtrooper if you see the head. Now here are the really top tier customization options you have. You have the Shadow Trooper at level 50. So again, the higher level you are, the more you can purchase. So that's all of the customization options you have for your character. And there's quite a lot to choose from. I didn't even show you all of the options because I wasn't even a high enough level to show you. There's also a lot of options when it comes to different types of gameplay. Now, here's the short menu of what you can choose from different types of games. Now, I'm going to go to Fighter Squadron because it's one of my favorites, just to show you a little gameplay from that. You go straight to the map online and you go right into gameplay. In Fighter Squadron, all you do is kill other vehicles. If you're a TIE fighter, you're going to be killing X-Wings and A-Wings. It's a lot of fun. But look at this. This is what I really wanted to showcase with this game. It looks like Star Wars. It sounds like Star Wars. My favorite thing to do is just get into a TIE interceptor and hear that noise. It's fantastic. Here you also have other types of games. This is Blast, in which you just run around killing people on a map. You're either the rebels or the stormtroopers. It's as simple as that. You jump in, you start killing things, you start shooting things, and you have fun. The game is beautiful. It sounds astounding, it looks astounding, but I will say there are some problems with it. One of my major issues, and most people's major issue with the game, is that it's primarily online multiplayer, and unless you're a badass at these sorts of games, it becomes really difficult. I remember just spawning, dying, spawning, and dying. Now there are single-player modes in the game, different missions that you can play, but honestly, if I were to suggest you do anything in the single-player mode, it's just go into the training missions and play the snowspeeder part, because it never gets old taking down an AT-AT with your grappling hook. which is something that's nigh impossible in the multiplayer thing. So go do this in the training mode. It's a lot of fun, and I just had a blast. Could do it over and over and over again. And the missions, they go away pretty quickly, so the rest of the game is just for you to play a multiplayer. That's the core part of the game. Here we have heroes versus villains. Now, this is one of those levels that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed this type of gameplay because it's really the only way you're going to be able to play one of the heroes in this game without being really lucky. And I will say this though, in this mode, it's kind of nigh impossible to play it unless you're one of the heroes. If you're one of the stormtroopers or rebels, you're really outmatched in this, and it's not as much fun. So there are pros and cons to just about every single map in the game. Still, despite these flaws that I mentioned in the other maps, why don't we just discuss the newest map, which is Jakku. Just take a look at this for a moment, and I'll be right with you. Majestic, isn't it? I mean, what I really felt when I was playing this game is that there are only 4 different planets to play in the game, and that was a bit too few for me. And then they added Jakku, and it was amazing to me how just 2 maps, a very small map for the smaller missions such as Blast and Heroes and Villains, and then a bigger one for Walker Assault and this new mode, which is Turning Point, which is fantastic. These 2 maps have added so much to the game for me. Look at it. Look how sprawling and huge this is. This is a massive battle, and you jump in the middle of it. It's beautiful. It sounds amazing. And it really felt to me that this is exactly what DICE and EA were going for when they made Battlefront. People have complained time and time again, there's not enough. There's just not enough to keep you going. And although everything looks nice, it's nice to be on Endor and on Hoth and these recognizable places and go to Sullust where you've never seen before. But if you look what they did on Jakku, it's astounding. Still, there are more issues with the game I have to bring up. My second issue, and this is a major one, is that when you're in multiplayer, it really glitches up if you don't have a good connection. Multiplayer has to be online, and I miss the days of good couch-based multiplayer. But I will say this, look at Jakku, look in the background there where the arrow is pointing. That is a Star Destroyer blasting into the ground. This is why I love the Jakku map so much. I just featured this footage just to show you how glitchy everything looks. So we've got the fact that it's multiplayer driven, it's online. So if you're really not good at it, like a lot of people are, you're going to have a very frustrating time with this game. And of course, if you don't have a fantastic internet connection, you're also going to have a very frustrating, glitchy time, and people are just going to kill you left and right. But still, there are a lot of things that I loved about it. The aesthetic is Star Wars. Look at it. Hoth looks fantastic. Everything sounds good. The blasters sound good. They even put the Wilhelm screen in there sometimes when you're a stormtrooper and you die. There's so much detail put into it. And the Battle of Jakku is just so rich. It's just 2 maps and just one new type of gameplay that you can do, and yet I still felt just it added so much to the game. So for my feeling, those people who are complaining about the game not being complete, I felt it complete enough. So that's what I felt overall about Star Wars Battlefront. I'm going to give this, and I'm going to give this a score out of 10 instead of out of 5 as I do for films. Out of 10, I'm going to give this game, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was good enough for 7 out of 10, and with more, I think it's going to be even better. So thank you guys, thank you for watching, and this was The Road to Star Wars. I'll see you guys in a galaxy far, far away.